Greetings, brave adventurers! My name is FoxyBard, and today I bring you a horror story. I feel like we've had enough time to collectively recover from the ordeal that was the Wolverine saga. Or at least, I have enough to bring you some more horror stories. And we're gonna have to jump right back in with a bang, as this story today is going to involve a trigger warning for grooming of a minor. So if that's not something you want to hear, go ahead and click off the video, skip this one. But with all that out of the way, go ahead and grab a seat around the fire as we dig into this tale of horrific role-playing. Today's story comes to us from Reddit user OKAction3370 and is entitled DM's close friend turns out to have groomed her, and it is a good example of how someone with bad intentions can hide them and use something like D&D to get away with it. It might get a little bit rough, but here we go. Tale start. TLDR, 40-year-old friend turns out to have been extorting and harassing our DM for the entire time we knew him. That 40 number is gonna sound a lot worse when we get to the cast. So this is the story of a close and beloved friend of our DMing group turning out to be a horrible person, and the red flags he left along the way. I'm going to avoid any super specifics as I do not wish to dox or harm anyone involved. I apologize for the rushed grammar. I needed to get this off my chest and put this out here. Oh, don't worry, I got you. I'll just mess it up even more. The cast. DM, a younger woman, 16 at the start of this story. Me, a close friend of the DM and a member of her chosen family. Jack, another close friend of the DM, met through a D&D Discord server a few years prior. Josh, the DM's best friend and group favorite. Sheep, a friend of the DM since the start of the server. And last, can I actually say this on YouTube? Let's see if the video gets demonetized. Bastard, a close friend and father figure to the DM. The name makes more sense in character. Now, for some context. We had played several times leading up to this event, with minimal and normal warning signs. Me, Bastard, Sheep, and DM were the first members of this small posse, with Jack and Josh joining around the same time a year later, forming what's become our regular game group. The dynamic has always stayed the same. We were the players, and DM was the DM. It rarely strayed from this dynamic, as we had no desire to do otherwise. Aside from one-shots and side campaigns run for fun, DM was the regular. Hey, if she liked it, more power to her. It's important to mention a key thing to this story. DM has gone through some very horrific events in their life, mostly involving parents, leading to trust being a very difficult thing to obtain. But slowly and surely, that wall fell for us, and we became a pseudo-family, no one wishing harm upon anyone else in the group, aside from the occasional petty drama. The first game we ever played showed no warning signs of who Bastard was. We were all getting to know each other, and we bonded quickly through the grueling trek that was that campaign. The only thing of note being that Bastard was very harsh on me whenever my character made a mistake in-game, telling me I was not playing the character I wrote. On to the second game. Josh and Jack have joined the group. Sheep couldn't join. This is where the warning signs started. We all rolled up the usual D&D party. Josh played a frivolous royal bard. Jack played a mighty, evil paladin heir. I played a sneaky rogue with a hidden past. And some others played an orc cleric and a succubus sorcerer. I thought you said this was the usual D&D party. Hang on. Bastard played a perverted goblin. Oh no, not again. Aside from the classic pervy shenanigans of harassing female NPCs, oh yes, just fun shenanigans, not that that's a bad indicator of the kind of person you're working with, and making the succubus his smut supplier, everything is fine, with the occasional derailment to let Bastard chase some tail. Nothing new. We progress through the story, Josh's character slowly descending into the realization that the real world is cruel. Jack's character became more of a hero instead of a villain. My character died, and I replaced him with, well, another sneaky rogue. Point is, we all developed. Except Bastard. He stayed a pervy, twisted goblin until the DM introduced us to what was soon to be our favorite NPC of the campaign, Issa. Issa was an almost self-insert NPC on the DM's part, as she was the DM's first character ever made and resembled DM to a fair degree appearance-wise. I want to make clear, Issa did not pull the classic DMPC BS. She was kind, goofy, and all around a great tag-along for the party as she brought a certain light to the trauma-filled adventures. Bastard's character immediately started hitting on, groping, and harassing Issa, and stating all the while that it was in character. This made everyone understandably uncomfortable, to the point where whenever him harassing Issa came up, it was brushed off as a, oh yeah, that happens, yada yada. The game goes on, it comes to a close due to DM not feeling driven to run it. At the time, we assumed it was because of work, or fatigue. How wrong we were haunts me. I'm going to mention something that makes this a lot worse. I probably should have mentioned it earlier. Bastard was 40. We are all late teens, early 20s. DM was 16, mature for her age, but still 16. Bastard insisted that DM call him Dad, which she did, because he was a father figure for her at the time. All of us found it a little weird, but we brushed it off, thinking that he was good for her. Oh no, oh no, oh no. A few weeks later, DM offered us another campaign, a Western-style shoot-'em-up with a heavy undertone of magical elitism. Sounds fun, we all say. I roll up a paladin, Josh rolls up a sniper, Jack rolls up a medic, and Sheep rolls up a priest. Bastard rolls up a fighter tank, with a kink for pain. All good, this is a game themed around despicable people, we all figure. A few weeks go by, and we all start to notice that Bastard's character, nicknamed Bastard, is very similar to DM. Same mannerisms, same aesthetic, same attitude. We don't think much of it at the time. Months go on, and as the game progresses, we all start to learn what our characters' darker sides and pasts are like. But one thing sticks out. Bastard's character backstory is copy-paste what has happened to DM. Not one traumatic event missed. All of it. This struck us a little bit weird, not to mention how distant DM had gotten in the past few weeks, often avoiding hanging out on call and seeming detached during the sessions. So we started to wonder what was up. We asked her about it, and DM brushed it off, saying something along the lines of, that's just Bastard. During our daily hangouts or after sessions, Bastard would critique our characters, playing the position of a master writer and a character creation genius. Even going as far as to tell Jack that he was only playing the medic to pretend he knew what trauma was. Whatever the excuse was, Bastard always made it a point to pick on DM's close male friends, never the girls. Cut forward 5 months. D&D was put on pause. We hadn't played for 2 months. DM was quiet during the duration, her usual spark and energy gone. We get progressively more worried about what's going on, and eventually, after hours of asking her what was wrong, she tells us. In the background of all of our games and hangouts for the past 3 years, Bastard had been sending DM money to help her get by on rent. We all knew this to some degree. What we didn't know is that Bastard had been using this money to guilt trip and persuade DM into feeding his horrendous and despicable habits, like asking for photos, drawings, and countless other lewd and pedophilic activities. Sadly, none of what he did was illegal, as he had waited until she had turned 18 to ask for these things. He even wrote her borderline novels, detailing people in our friend group, air quotes, dancing with her. She told us this as she cried over not wanting to cause issues. So we confronted him. When we did, he admitted to what had happened. The long hours of coaxing her for pictures, the years of reinforcing that DM owed him something, the disturbing dance fanfictions, all of it. For 3 long years, we had let this man, this bastard, manipulate, harass, and groom our close friend under our noses. And I speak for all of us when I say we saw red. He was banned, blocked, and completely cut out, and was told if we ever saw his face again, we'd give what we had to the police. She was never able to revive either game, as he had tainted years of hard work with his touch, and perverted her hobbies. She went to therapy, got help, and was able to process what happened and how it wasn't her fault. And we've slowly, but surely, made our way back into playing D&D, but there's always an underlying bitterness to the games. I cut this down a lot and left out a lot of details, including other campaigns and activities, to ensure no one but the people involved will know who I'm talking about, as quite a few of those stories would be a dead giveaway as to our identities. At the end of the day, if you see this, bastard, never do that again. You were never our friend, and you sucked at D&D. Ouch! Ooh, that's probably the most harsh insult you could throw at someone like this, because I'm not sure he cares about much else. Edit. Because so many people kept saying this, I felt the need to put this in. I am not going to report this to the cops. That is completely on DM's discretion, and she has stated she has no desire to on multiple occasions. We are helping her, she is safe and cared for as of this current moment. Tail end. Yeah, you know what? I actually think bastard might even be too light of a name for this particular person. Wow. To my much younger fans, if you ever have someone who is very much an adult and you are very much not, say that you are mature for your age, that's a very common strategy used by people who are trying to groom minors into getting them into relationships. And, well, you want to avoid people like that. If they insist that, oh, you're so mature for your age, you should come to my place. No, don't listen to them. They are trying to manipulate you, and they are trying to use and abuse you. Don't take the bait. Granted, that can be very hard to do in the moment, and it's never, ever the fault of the person who was groomed, who was being abused and manipulated. It's not your fault. If you've been through a situation similar to this, it's not your fault. The real solution to all of this would be to stop weird old men from doing this to young girls. That would be the ideal situation, but sadly we don't live in that world. Yet. Perhaps we'll get there one day. Also, side note, why was a 40-year-old man close friends with a bunch of kids half his age or younger? I guess the answer is he wanted to groom a 16-year-old. Never mind. Oh, it's the worst answer. I hate it. And that will do it for Foxy today. Also, I've decided I'm only going to do songs on Community Day because I can't keep coming up with this many this fast. So, don't forget to like the video if you liked the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not yet done so, ring the bell notification icon if you would like to be notified when I upload a new video, and leave me your thoughts down in the comments section below. You can also join the FoxyBard Discord server at discord.gg/FoxyBard. We got a custom URL, you guys. Yay! And now to thank all of my lovely patrons over on patreon.com/FoxyBard. Critical Kunik, Amma Anthro, Phantom, Jowser, Fractal Dawn, Stephen Reyes, Sylvia, Cintaria, Tegan Longtail, Thunder Lepard, Zerofang881, and Zorolo. I love and appreciate you guys so much, and you help me keep doing this. If you would like to join that list of names, you can head on over to patreon.com/FoxyBard, and for as little as $3 a month, you get all my videos a day early, as well as any other random content I decide to throw your way. So far, that's been a bunch of first edition Pathfinder content to help you guys get going on your games. But speaking of those other games, let's go ahead and douse the fire and get back to our own adventures.